Hello, my dear ones. Dr. Morse here, and I want to introduce our new professor to our International School of the Healing Arts and Sciences, Professor Magdalena. And this professor is amazing. She has, in terms of bringing out beauty and art of the inner worlds, it's amazing. And you're getting a little bit of a picture of that behind us. We're filming her classes now for the Naturopathic degree, and it will have smells, colors, sounds. When you look at the earth sciences, it includes everything you can see around you. And they're always in duality, remember that. And duality means that there's smells that are going to turn you off and smells that turn you on. And there's colors that do the same thing. And it comes in and makes the cells sing and dance. You know, when you're healing, you want your body to sing and dance and move. You don't want it to sit there just rigid with acid. So anytime you can get things moving. So music, color, I've always said in healing, get flowers all around you.
Yes.
So we're going to have a little spiritual wrapping. You've been filming all day, talking all day and stuff like that. And so
yeah, for the last 3 days.
we're introducing the world to our new school, and this is for YouTube, Rumble, all these things like this. And so...
yeah.
And our new platform, Dr. Morse TV.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Check
wild.
that out. It's a must. Yeah.
Yeah, having that emotional component, when you see a lot of intellectuals and academics, you just see that the mind train. So it's all mental. It fits in categories. The mind is the joker, right? The monkey that categorizes, separates, isolates, plays it against itself, plays games all the time. So you've seen this in our society, education being tainted and lies being taught to our children and things like this. We're going to turn this whole thing around and bring the spiritual side of life to this planet and show you
that you never seen before.
That you never seen before.
Right. Yes, it will be a bomb.
Yeah, and all of us together is powerful. We have an incredible group of people out there.
Beautiful people.
Oh my God, all these
the highest spiritual level possible, really, you know.
Mm-hmm. And still keep a body.
Yes, yes.
You want to talk about some spiritual things.
Yes, a lot.
Let's rock them.
The class that I teach is, you know, the bio-art science of healing. It's something beautiful. It's bio, it's natural, biology, but the real biology.
Energy.
So we can, absolutely, that is the most powerful thing. That it's
and
in our
energy
food.
is awareness.
Yes.
So you're teaching energetic awareness.
Yes. And I think, in my personal opinion, without the music, without the art, you can't achieve healing on the cerebral level. It's hard because it's a spirituality, right?
Imagine no music.
Yeah.
What about no sound? See, sounds, we talked about that earlier doing your video down there about sounds being external, but also the inner sounds. Listening to one inside, because all these different levels that you have in you have music tagged to them.
Yes, and all our cells are talking to us as well. And they're whispering, they just want to be fed correctly.
Man, the chatters out there can be immense too, because they're the music of the spheres. It's all over the place. There's all levels, and music, like we were talking about earlier, can be uplifting or can take down thought forms.
Yes.
And you can use music to navigate yourself if you're aware enough.
Absolutely.
If you just can't seem to break through a certain level of consciousness, and there's these old thought forms, you can use heavy rock and roll or rap or something to kind of open that up and get that free, but then fill it with something harmonious and or use the hue or the ohm.
Oh, we were singing also on that class. It was just beautiful. Everybody was like a part of the choir, you know. It was amazing.
You get 10,000 people hewing.
Yeah.
I've had 10, 15,000 people hewing before, and it's earth-shattering because it's just, matter of fact, there was, in Hartford, Connecticut, one of the masters were there, and they had this huge hew there, and the day after he left, the roof fell in on the big, huge convention center there. It was amazing.
Wow.
So the energy is so powerful out here now that it has to be.
Yes.
So, and the same thing with the people listening. Now's not the time to desire. Now's the time to learn the desireless state, the Buddha desireless state, and the state that Jesus taught and all these spiritual beings taught. Now's the time to kick back away from creation. It is in turmoil and it needs to get a homeostasis to it. We've got to keep feeding the monster and bring love and power and beauty into that monster.
Absolutely, yeah. And we need to protect ourselves, purify our body, protect ourselves with the light, with the colors, with the music. That all are powerful tools to, be happy in this world and maybe full of joy, because happiness is short term, right? Well, Dr. Mercy taught me that.
Well, you brought up something you were talking to me about earlier,
Yeah.
and that is a lot of people are having psychic attacks. Now, there's another thing is sometimes you can listen to your own mind.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful whether it is an entity outside of yourself or it's yourself talking to yourself.
Yes.
Because a lot of people have set up themselves kind of like that. In reality, you've got to get whole, and the whole person is a conscious person.
Absolutely.
When you're using your mind, other people can use your mind with you. And that's what you're seeing going on.
Yes, yes.
So if you don't
And
want
that
people,
protection will help you to...
it will.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you won't get hitchhikers.
Yes, that's a beautiful...
saying.
I feel like I don't know, I'm teaching the class again.
Well, the one thing
I
about
feel the
lower
same
states,
energy.
they can't handle energy. They can't
So
handle
beautiful.
consciousness.
Yes.
All these different beings that are involved here on this planet right now, they can't handle a lot of consciousness. Some.
Yes, and we can have around us a lot of people that have hitchhikers.
There
That's
is.
why we need to protect the body and soul, as
And there's a
as
lot
strong
of
as
levels,
possible.
like in Africa and things, that have been dealing with some of these real negative entities and stuff. So power up and never be afraid of any entity, no matter how powerful you think they are, because anyone that comes to you, you also have a body at that level. So when someone appears to you out of their physical body, you also have an astral body. It's the only body they can see you in, at least contact you, and they can't be in their mental body. They have to be in an astral body. So, and there's levels in between. You have that same part to yourself, that same body.
Yes.
And the stronger, and through the healing arts, you open these bodies up to get power and energy and
to clean
consciousness.
up the
in them.
chakras, to open up yourself to the purity of life, not the fake part of life. So it helps. It helps so much.
Well, I think it's important to realize that, we talk about love a lot, and we talk about how much we should love everybody, but in reality, love is consciousness.
Yeah.
And you can't force an emotion and call it love and think you love everybody through the emotional component. Love isn't emotional, not true divine love, because divine love, simply when you see that all things come from the same source, that love is eternal. You can't, there's nothing involved there, because everything comes from the one. So everything you can imagine, from compassion to everything in your beingness, comes to play when you get into these nirvanic states to see that. It's only down in creation where everything appears. You and I appear to be separate. We got separate bodies and things like that. Well, that's why creation exists. Have the fun. Talking to your husband over there, talking about that sort of thing, the play, or let's just sit back and watch and let your journey go forward. You already created everything in this lifetime. That's why you're here. Just sit back and let it manifest. Don't create new. Anything you create, guess who's responsible? Not me, not her, you. And a lot of times we pass this off to masters. Oh, I've got a guru, a Vaguru, or something like that. I got a master who'll take my karma on. I think again, there's a lot of...
like people like to blame their fruits for everything, right?
This
It's
is
the
true
same
too!
thing.
That's another level too, self-blame and blame and everything else. And it's like,
It's
there's
just
nothing to
the
blame.
best excuse for some.
It is.
Yeah.
It just is. It is. You
Yeah.
have to look at your experience. It just is what you learn from it and go on. If you lock it in your mind, and it'll be there as a memory, but that becomes an Akashic record to you. So then you can go back and read your records if you want. Those are dark rooms with no light in them, and if you turn on the light, you get to re-experience. So sometimes it's better to be in the now and not want to go in those past dark areas of the mind. Akashic records and stuff, unimportant.
Yes.
You are what you are now, And like you said, with the Kundalini and stuff like that, remember, when you play with the power, you can get hurt.
Yes.
I can just tell you, even raising and playing with the Kundalini, not
Yeah.
smart. Be the light. You don't have to play with the light, be
Yeah.
the light. Start with the crown chakra if you have to start anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, don't play with your lower chakra bodies. What are you doing? You're keeping yourself in time and space.
Yeah.
No, free yourself from all of this.
Absolutely. Yes. Because you are power, right? Like you said beautifully, Dr. Morse. You're teaching us beautiful stuff, you know, and it's...
You've got a big group in Poland, right? I heard.
Yes.
So that's pretty interesting.
Dr. Morse po polsku on Facebook. I'm warmly inviting each and every one of you.
There you go. Yeah, like I said, I had 5 years in Lisbon, and I wish I could have spoke Portuguese. Obrigado is probably one of the few things I remember.
Dr. Morse, he understands everything. He understands everything I say in Polish.
I understand it. I can't say I
With the
speak it.
spirit. With the spirit.
But you know,
You know?
yeah, I mean, life goes beyond verbalage. You know, I see you, you see, you know, and so consciousness is everything.
Yeah.
Can't hide from that.
No.
And so a lot of people out there are struggling with that. It's simple when you realize you just become the observer instead of the thinker. Learn how to quit thinking. And that sounds bizarre, but when you do, you will now come into your own. It's kind of like studying in school. You study for an exam. Once you've done that, you say, oh, whew, man, same type of thing, but far greater. When you stop thinking, your world just goes pop, explodes.
Yes.
Because you're done studying the academics. You're done using the mind to navigate yourself. You don't need to navigate yourself. You're awake now. You don't need to play your little Broadway shows, if you call it that. You know,
Yeah.
the
Absolutely.
hop and stance or whatever they call it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I was even, when I was touching in the class yesterday, 2 days ago, I feel like I've
You've
been
been
here
2
forever.
days
Yeah.
filming.
Oh my goodness. 3 days.
3 days filming.
Wow.
You've been 3 days filming.
Yeah, and I'm not done yet.
And you got 3 more days, or you got a whole week left, I think, of filming. That's
Oh,
how
yeah.
good her class is going to be. That's how good this school's going to be. We're going to have
So
higher
excited.
levels of learning. You're going to have so much fun participating in
fun.
these classes.
Yes.
Aren't they? I'm just excited as all get
Yes.
up. Learning and
So
having
beautiful.
fun and opening up. This planet has gotten so negative, we're going to show them the other side of it.
Absolutely.
You know?
On the highest possible level.
Exactly.
Yes.
You want to play in those lower fields, you go ahead. We're going to enjoy the higher levels that
Yes.
this planet can offer you.
And you are higher self already, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
You just need to expand
Matter
your
of-
wings and discover more.
Exactly. Matter of fact, you said something earlier about higher self. I want you to realize when you say, I got to get in touch with my higher self,
Yeah.
you never will.
That's
You
true
never
too.
will.
Yeah.
Because you are your higher self.
Yeah.
Who are you? The lower self?
Yes.
Then who's the higher self? How do I know? You're the self, period. And that is nirvanic. When you come to that realization that you're not have to move, change, do anything to find the self, you already are that which is. There is no need to change yourself in any way, shape, or form because you're perfect in every way. You're omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. How can you change that? You can't. You can only change the mind, and there's the joker, the monkey, who makes you a fool, and you don't even realize it. And these academic people, they get so involved, and now you have the genocidalist thinkers, you know, of terminating the population, and it's like, oh. So power up, guys. We got a
That's
lot
scary.
going on here.
Yeah. We need to protect the world.
Any more spiritual questions you want to get out?
Absolutely. I have so many spiritual questions. Well, I don't know where to start.
Anyway,
I'm just looking around.
start in the now.
Well, I think first thing that comes on my mind is since I was a little girl, I healed myself from bad energy. And I knew how to do it, and that's exciting too. And I know that, you know, I came to this world of the artistic consciousness with my artistic gift. That's the one thing I can understand that, but the whole cleansing effect that I could do since I was little, and I knew that some stuff are bad. Like I never called myself any Reiki or anything. Never. I never want to be called like that. But I knew how to do it, the way how to do it, and now I teach people how to do it, carefully, with protection, with purification, so you don't get hurt. And how the heck did I know this stuff? when I was just a couple years young.
See, the illusion is the bodies.
Yeah.
You were born and you were a little baby. Were you really a little baby? No, you weren't a little baby. You had a little baby's body, but your awareness. I mean, I remember when I was 1 year old getting washed in the sink and this beautiful woman walked by and came in the house. I'm going,
I remember
like that, and
one.
I'm only 1 year old.
Wow.
You know, it's like the 5-year-old that sits down and plays Beethoven.
Wow. Yeah.
It's like the all these young kids in India are coming back saying, you know, I lived last lifetime and I buried a box over there, and they dig it up and there it is. You know, what you have to realize is that you are endless. There's no death to you at all.
Yeah.
That's an illusion that's cast by having bodies. But the only way you can be in creation and play the game is to be embodied, because you're omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. You're totality. So how can you, as a being of gigantic proportion, and that's just giving you a little bit of an illusion, because there's no being to you at that level, can come down and play in a highly material world. You blow it apart. Can't do it. You have to step yourself down to these low levels of frequencies and vibration. These levels are so low compared to who you are, it's not even funny. And you're having to fit and play with these lower levels. And sometimes, as more advanced you get frustrated, because you don't. The curtain isn't pulled off, and everything you know is you're forgotten and everything else. And you start out new mind, new emotions. Not at all. Nobody starts out new.
Yeah.
You're all in a genetic move, a karmic move.
Yeah.
And you were here before. That's why you're here. Well, why'd you connect with us? Why are you
that's
teaching
true.
others how to use the creative arts to open themselves to the higher aspects of God and
Why I'm
themselves?
so honored
You
to
were meant
be here.
You were set up for this a long time
it's
ago.
just-
Remember, I told
wow.
you, we brought people in here that set up for this.
Yeah.
So there's people you're going to see coming to us that we already knew were set up to do this. So you're going to see a lot going on.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
I can't
exciting.
wait for more.
And
So
you're just one
exciting.
of those. That's what you have to accept, is realize that the bodies is what gives the illusion that you're a new being and a new mind. Not even close. You could have
We knew each other.
big time.
Yeah,
And you can,
this is big
these babies, I mean, you can talk to them and, you know.
But detox before having babies.
Now would probably be a good time to get your health and not have babies, to be honest with you. And I know that might sound bizarre
important.
to you from me, but we've got some sick people out there trying to knock off a lot of humans and bringing babies right now. Medical doctors are grabbing babies. California's went to private, so they're grabbing people's kids for no reason. You know, it's a money thing now to grab kids. It's like, oh my God, I've been working with detectives around the country, and they say it's just a money thing out there. These are detectives, not just coming from my mouth. You know, so there's a lot going on this planet that's of the negative, and here we're all coming from the positive and bringing in the light and the power that way. So that's just
our beautiful aura.
It's a game.
Spread the spread the love and the truth.
Yeah. But spread the strength too, because now passive love are not going to get you anywhere. Passive love is, you know, could get you taken over. You want love, but you want love with knowingness. Why do you love? You know, if you're just loving because you're just a loving person, okay, but you open yourself up. And be careful about that, because when you open yourself up to someone, they might not be so loving. And a lot of people open themselves up to entity attachment all the time because they just love people. But you got to know when you do that love is, you know, not opening. You're not opening the door to your beingness to some entity to do that.
Yeah.
And then why do you love for? Check out why, the reasons why, you know, because your love has to come from the understanding of the divine, or it is personal love. And personal love, very limited, and has nowhere to really go. And with that comes duality. Ups and downs. I didn't get what I put out, and that love doesn't get you anywhere. Divine love is, I love every single thing. I might not like everything, but I love everything because I see it as the divine expressing itself in individual form.
Yeah.
And that kind of love is endless. That has a power love to it. That has a darshan love to it.
So I just love listening to it.
That's the kind of one.
Yes,
but you
it's
love
so
because
beautiful.
you see it in all things. Like a
And
Rumi
you
experience.
feel like it's like comparable. Well, like I said, I love my work. It's because I don't treat it as a work.
Right.
It's just my passion.
It's your
and
essence.
yeah, it's just my love. Like I feel butterflies when I'm doing it. You know, this is how you feel. You feel all your cells involved in this process, and it's that I don't even focus on eating or like drinking. Of course it's important, but I'm just saying I'm not like closed-minded, right?
Well, I had
Just
that,
open.
like I said, in naturopathic school, I had
Yeah.
music, I had color therapy. I
This
even
is
told you I
beautiful.
started the color therapy
Absolutely.
and Iridology Institute way
Yeah.
back. But again, treatment-based thinking, when you isolate colors and you're using colors, full spectrum lighting is full spectrum, and that's another thing when you're dealing in color therapy.
Yeah.
Don't wear your sunglasses, guys. Get them off.
Oh,
You know, you
I
want full
remember I
spectrum
wrote
lighting.
post about it, and I got so bad comments under this post.
No,
Like, how dare you say stuff like that? I'm gonna hurt my vision.
No, you guys don't
Yeah.
know. We do have a problem with radiation,
Yeah.
but you internally have to hydrate and get all this radiation out of you.
Absolutely.
And there are certain things people are doing that makes you a little photosensitive, you
Yeah.
know, and that sort of thing. I agree. But you have to have direct light. These are all healing rays.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've got
For
the
melatonin
Gates syndrome.
production and etc. Yes.
We got a lot of
Vitamin D.
radiation in the Van Allen belt. We got a lot of satellites, and they want to put 100,000 more satellite. Gates does, or how many ever more, and that's like radiation at levels this planet.
Yeah.
The G5 is already. We should shut that G5 down. Too much radiation for the planet, you know.
Absolutely.
But with that said, you know, we all have to prepare for that because these are just bodies. If you're here for what reason now? And when you wake up a little bit from your thoughts and it's you playing the games and everything, and pretty soon you start looking around, you start realizing why you are really here.
Yeah.
And then you'll start waking up to maybe your divinity like she has and what your role is in teaching others. Because you've been involved in helping yourself understand that and others.
Yes.
Now you're open to the world to understand the power of healing through music, sounds, smells, all of that.
Everything.
Huge
that's
part of life.
Big art.
Yep,
You know?
big art.
Art is creation, and creation is art. So
It is.
it's just
God loves to sing. I mean, everything is music. Spirit moves through light and sound. And we talked about in your intro there.
yes.
How
was beautiful.
Creation moves with music.
Yes.
Light and sound.
Absolutely. And we also were talking about the meaning of our names, how this is important to just have the name spelled correctly.
Vibrational.
Because it has all meaning behind it too, right? And it's a music. Your name is like a part of the melody.
Exactly.
And it's
Now, for you warriors out there, don't let anything, even music, control you.
yes,
You
absolutely.
don't let anything control you except your
Unless it's
consciousness.
the music of the nature sound.
True.
Like,
I'm just talking to the warrior side over
yeah,
here.
well, just
There are
warrior.
some out
Yeah.
there, guys, that you're going to be
Absolutely.
pulled on. You're going to be pulled in consciousness
Yeah.
in ways you didn't think you had. You were more gentle, maybe, but you're going to see things coming out of you more strong, and don't be afraid of that. Things are powering up, and that includes the spiritual people. Some of these masters are so powerful you can't hardly be around them, and that's where you need to go. And that only comes by surrendering and becoming it yourself, because that's all you are anyway. And so lose that individual expression and you'll gain it. You know, it's interesting. If you lose yourself, your little self, you will gain such a self because only the alone exists.
Yeah.
So when you find yourself in the awe, that's all that exists.
Absolutely.
You will find some interesting levels as you tap into consciousness, and you're now getting out of duality and form and things like this. But to get there, you must stop thinking, stop desiring, do all the things these spiritual greats, Jesus, Buddha, Enoch, before Jesus, all these spiritual beings found the same thing, man.
They talk about energy, right? That
Energy.
we own the energy, we are energy, and we can heal ourselves.
And don't care about creation. It's just
No.
it's what Jesus said, the marketplace.
Yeah.
You can sell your mom, buy moms, you can do anything you want. But who's the buyer? Who's the shopper? Who's the player in the field of dreams?
Absolutely.
You know, you are. And who is the you? And that's what people are opening up to. And that's what you've found out. Why did I come in this lifetime knowing all this? You were here to bring it to the world. That's why. You know, and that's exactly what we're doing. Those of us that know why we're here, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of us out here.
Absolutely. That's
love
why
it.
we need to connect. That's why we need to create our tribes, to just be together, you know, because this is important to
Absolutely, yes.
be have a strong bond, and so
And
we
be
can-
detached. Don't care. Something happens you don't like, all right, pass it off. Don't let it go in and crawl and make a home.
Yeah.
That's the problem. People bring everything home to mama. It's like, no, let everything stay out there. It doesn't have to come into you.
Yes.
You know, you can watch it. If you like it, okay. If it makes you grow and expand yourself in consciousness.
That's interesting too. And what I've been experiencing personally since I was a little girl, I saw myself like on the side, like I'm not inside of my body, but next to it. But I felt it very
Coarse.
conscious.
Coarse.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was watching myself like I'm in a movie, and I was like playing the role, but I was doing this very consciously. I didn't like play around or anything. And then I was thinking what I can do next, or I can do better. And that was, and I didn't understand that back then, you know. And now, 27 years later, even I'm a little older than that because I'm 4,000 years old, so.
I would expect you, though, to be out of body a lot as a creative arts person, because you'll be more focusing on your emotional or astral body than you would the mind, because the mind is.
But then I lost this experience later on when I was pushed by society and my family to consume some milk and dairy products in my early 20s because
that's amazing.
But I was like eating fruits, guys. I was like climbing trees and picking fruits, and I was.
You knew then.
Yeah, I was like bringing gifts, myself and my mom, full of fruits.
Time doesn't really exist.
It's just
time
crazy.
is just a succession of nows. So really, we all could have been playing together in fields of dreams all through. Who knows? Who cares?
Yeah.
You know, it's just that we see chop, lifetime from lifetime, only because if some people knew what they knew, it'd be a tough life here.
But when you are younger, you are more like capable to feel that awareness, be in that consciousness. Like I was looking on the side, on myself on the profile, and then I lost it when I consumed meat and dairy product. And you know,
funny how that is. Vibrational foods can take you out.
Yeah. And then it was hard for me to come back because then I had that ski accident and stuff like that, and it was like I was jumping out in and out. But now again, I can like do the same thing, you know, and.
Feed the beast. Creation is there to play with it. Even conscious beings can have fun with creation. You don't want to not have fun with it, that's for sure. Yeah. But your role changes. You know, you start bringing in the higher levels of understanding and helping those that are ready. Plenty of beings are never going to believe that. I mean, you've got every level here. So those are just coming to this place. Those are the ones that create havoc. But you've got a lot of beings that have just coming into these levels here. Yeah. And I've talked to, there's plenty of beings never been to this physical level, guys, plenty of them. And you'll meet them as you go out of you're out of these realms and start seeing all the other realms. But the astral realms are beautiful. You know, they did that movie with, I'm trying to think of who it was. His wife had died, and they did a movie about him going into the astral worlds to find him. Robin Williams, that's who it was. And that was it. They tried to make it as beautiful as they could, what the astral world would look like, or what they would call the next
Is
heaven.
it about to come? Can we see that?
That movie is an old movie.
Oh.
Been out for 20, 30 years.
Oh, wow.
So you might be able to rent. I don't even know what the name of it is, but it was showing you that there's an afterlife, right? But we want people to understand that there's those that play with the afterlives and deal with the heavens and stuff like that. That's not what we're at. Mm-hmm. We want you to be awake and fully conscious as a God-realized being. That is a lot more than playing in the fields of dreams. Mm-hmm. You know, you're actually waking up from the dream, and it is a much more, it's a much different.
Like with the crystals. They're out of this world, right? Mm-hmm. Crystals.
Yeah. So you can play and have fun, like you do. You play and have fun at your art, but you're teaching others when you're playing and having fun with it. That's what you want to do in creation, not take it too seriously.
And what you create becomes reality.
And what you create becomes reality, exactly. And who experiences it? You do. And of course, if there's connecting links to it to others and you're not uplifting them and you're creating negative energies between them, there's that to experience.
I created this without knowing that Dr. Morse has that crystal. I mean, he didn't have that crystal yet. Mm-hmm. We are coming here.
We're all
this
connected
crystal
as
is
one.
Here. And we were like, wow, this is the same one.
Look at the universal mind.
Yeah.
Me and
It's
you're
just
playing in the
true.
universal mind.
Yeah, it's just so
Yeah.
beautiful and unique. I just love it. These planets. Oh, you're cruising around, Dr. Morse. I see
We
that.
cruise. You all cruise.
Absolutely,
You know,
everyone.
you're surprised, but everyone has out-of-body experience because you're all not physical. You're just having a physical body. As soon as you lay that down, you're out. Your attention's somewhere else.
Absolutely.
When you are aware and
Yes.
you're not you are your attention. You don't have to move anywhere.
Yeah.
Your reality becomes much more what they call lucid. In other words, more real than what we are talking here. This, for me, we're in an illusion sitting here talking. My reality is
That's
much
where
more
we-
awake in another
Yes.
level.
Yes.
So this is like coming into an illusionary thing and
Like
talking about
Mandela
things
effect?
about wakening up. Yeah, but you know that's how it is.
Yeah.
You want to keep developing your consciousness, not your toys and tools and all the playground.
Yeah.
You know that's where you'll be. And right
Absolutely.
now the playground's
Oh.
pretty tough.
Yeah. It's a little messy.
So your spirituality, there's no separation. You know, it's not I'm a Christian, I'm a Buddhist, I'm a Hindu. No, you can label yourself if you want, but you just limited yourself.
It's like
Are
with
you
calling yourself woman or man, right? It's the same
Exactly.
thing.
I know we're going through that consciousness. Yeah, you
Yeah.
got a female body, admit it, you got
Yeah.
a female body.
Absolutely.
But you're not, and the division has to be understood in consciousness, and people are not getting that.
Yeah.
They're trying to make the physical the heaven, and okay, but you can't. You
Yeah.
know, to a certain point. You know, you're going to have different bodies. That's just the way it is. And you can't get rid of things that are in history. You can't hide these things. They exist in the Akashic records for a reason. You know, and when you're trying to wipe things out, you're just trying to get awake, and you don't know how to. And that's what we're here to teach those that are creating havoc here. You just got to wake up.
Yeah.
And you can't choke the physical world and blame it for your unconsciousness. It's not that. You're the one unconscious. And that's you were put down here unconscious. Now get yourself conscious and you'll be free from all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Just saying.
That was beautifully said. I just love. Dr. Morse, what is your favorite flower?
Whew. I don't have favorite flowers. Dr. Jensen was such a fan. I've got pictures of flowers everywhere. He even wrote a book on flowers. And his place was just full of flowers, and my place is flowers. I don't know. I love everything. I can't
Everything
say I
that
have a better
smell
flower
well.
over another one. They're
Yeah.
just also beautiful. You guys in Hawaii have some of the most beautiful
I
flowers.
couldn't bring you that one, you know,
Oh.
but I did everything to bring that mango.
That mango was so good. You can't believe it.
I-
Wasn't much left of it, to be honest with you. But
Did you
anyway.
leave the seed?
I've
Did
got
you
the
keep the
seed
seed?
at home.
Oh,
no.
good.
No, that's going in
yeah.
the ground.
Oh, that's awesome.
No. We don't get rid of seeds.
That's beautiful.
So while we're talking to anything else you want to bring out about spirituality or anything that we're dealing with?
Yes, I would like to also know about out-of-body experience and more. You know, because I know it's needed. You don't wanna just stick in stuck in this world. You just also want to rest out of your body for a little bit and just keep your mind a little bit. We want to stop thinking. That's the point. That's my whole point. You just want to keep your mind also free and also learn that other universe. How many universes we have? Like millions.
If you're looking at
billions?
divides, you've got all kinds of grand divides,
Yeah.
and you've got all kinds, like from here to the astral, the frequencies are unbelievable. A good example is we have a whole Venusian society on Earth. I don't know if a lot of you are familiar with that, but I've known of this Venusian society back in the 70s. And there was a lady named Amnik, and she was from Venus, and she was a walk-in on a 12-year-old, I think. And she talked about it, and they said the big issue is frequency differences. And if any of you are familiar with the reptilian, I know Jesse Ventura did one show on the reptilian. A lot of people freak out when that. These, in physical worlds, there's no two physical objects can occupy the same space, but that's not true. Dealing in these other frequency levels and the physical world, you can have two things occupy the same space. Plenty of beings coming out of writing on people in their space. So this is, there's a lot going on here, but she brought out the fact that all these are frequency differences. At one frequency, you can see all types of life forms, and at another one, something else. It was kind of like radio and TV,
Yeah.
but we're jamming all our frequencies with crap,
Absolutely.
instead of higher level stuff. So it's clogging the frequencies down here a little bit. And we've got all the negative stuff we're promoting and feeding the mind, and so
Yeah.
a lot out of control here. So you can't let that get to you.
Yeah.
And the traveling is simple. You have to realize that your attention is you. There's no body to you. You don't have an embodiment. After you leave the causal world, you have no embodiment. You just have consciousness. You don't even know, where you are unless you have a spiritual being taking you, pretty much. But from the causal down, you have an embodiment. Looks just like the one you got now, unless you lose it, and then that begins to change that matrix a little bit. But your attention is everything. Where is it? So like if you want to lay down and your attention, the nervous system in the human body is so powerful that it keeps you locked to it.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get sick, notice you start to distance from the body. The more the body gets sicker, you withdraw from it. Well, all you have to realize is you just have to move your attention. Just move your attention away from your body. And if you practice anything, practicing moving your attention from here, maybe to over here. Because if I'm looking at you, you're everything. You're my whole experience, right? But if I look over to your husband now, he's my total experience and you're lost to me. You're in my Akashic records in the past unless I come back and light it back up, right?
Yeah.
So that's the way it is. Your attention is everywhere you want to be. If you don't focus your attention, you'll be everywhere.
Beautifully
So
said.
I don't do out of body anymore.
Yeah.
But out of body is simply you're moving your attention out. So you can move it. I've given a lot of experience. But a good example is laying in bed at night. Pretend you're up on the ceiling looking down at yourself. That's a no Rosicrucian technique.
And I love that you mentioned that because it just reminded me of my childhood.
Exactly. When
And
you
I was
rolled
just
right
doing
in, you go,
all
whoa,
that
I'm
stuff.
out of the... Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't know what I'm doing back then. Yeah.
And that's more
27
refined you.
And after, I'm like, whoa. Yes.
And yet
then,
you can watch yourself even do that.
Yeah.
Because your consciousness above all your bodies.
that movie is already recorded, right? You come back to that
Exactly.
memory.
You can watch your own movie. I mean, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, just
A
so
lot to... The physical world is such a constipated, closed-off area of activity that when you start to let go of this, your experiences are divine, amazingly so.
yes, yes, absolutely. And when Dr. Morse mentioned about detox centers in the church area, wow, that's super powerful.
I was trying to I almost got them into 5,000 AMEs. Those are Black Methodist churches, and that had been really cool because all churches we need to change that whole scenario, start realizing we need to give people their spiritual sucre because people are craving that connection and that awakened state.
Yeah.
We can no longer keep people and souls separate and sinners and things like this. You're not good enough. That'll get you more karma than them. You can't lock people away as a priest or a preacher or whatever. You can't lock your principles away. You want to set them free as you want to set yourself free. And you will have people giving you the biggest hugs ever because your job as a priest, a preacher, is to connect your parishioners with God, right? Isn't that what you want to do? Well, in doing that, you have to learn the higher principles of the Bible.
Yeah.
If you're talking Christianity, and that's going to be omnipotent, omnipresent. That's not going to be teaching creationism. That's going to be teaching consciousness. Just because Hindus use the word consciousness shouldn't matter to a Christian to use the word awareness then, or something if you're afraid of the word. The word simply means your awareness as opposed to your embodiment.
Yeah.
You can look at all the bodies God's made, all of them, all the animals, everything else, or you can look at what made them.
Yeah. I have a very interesting experience when I was 15. I was walking in Krakow, in Poland, with a group of people. Yeah, that was cool. At night.
I love it.
And there was a lady passing by, and she pulled my hand saying, honey, you're going with me. She put me on the side, and I'm like, who is that lady? But I felt so kind and loved by her. You know, she wasn't nothing negative. I felt that heart and the energy. And she said, you got green aura. You're a healer. And I tell you this, you will be helping people to heal. What I didn't take it serious. And she told me other stuff too, that actually they became reality. I didn't take it too serious because I'm 15 years old. I'm like, whatever, you know.
That's funny.
I just don't wanna what she said based on it, my future. I just wanna create my own future. So I let it go, let it just be there, hanging there. And now I see that everything she said,
she was
it
there
was
for you.
true.
She was sent there to tell you that.
Yeah.
And it was your Johnny Appleseed at one level. You know, you got to realize that these beings do that. And there's female spiritual beings as there are males, guys. There's some powerful female masters out there. And they have their ways of dropping that seed to you that get you awake. And you don't even know they're there sometimes.
Yeah.
It's amazing stuff. And
It
then some other
is.
times you know they're there.
Absolutely. And I felt that being loved immediately, like
That
full
deep?
of love. I felt like at home. But there was another situation where I had a very similar situation when the other lady tried to catch me and I want to put cards on you. I'm like, I just want to tell you the future. I'm like, okay, you're just too much. I just felt that energy that it
Another
was
lesson,
just
right? Another lesson to go, you know, one lesson,
You just
come on in,
feel
the
it.
next lesson you went.
yeah. Like my soul automatically rejected it. I was like, I felt that energy that it's not good energy.
And you have to
It's
go
not
with
good.
that.
Yeah.
You have to go with your inner feelings, because if something says no, don't do it.
Yeah.
I talk this a lot about opening doors that don't want to open. Never open a door that don't want to open. You try to open a door and it's hard to open, walk off. Because if you open it, 9 chances out of 10, you regret it big time.
Yeah.
And so if a door don't open, don't worry about it.
Step
Go
back.
on. You're the door.
Yeah.
There is no door to God but you. Remember Jesus said, you're the way, the living truth. You can do greater things than I, type of stuff.
Yeah.
All the masters said that because basically they're saying you and I are the same, bro. You know,
so true.
and that's what you have to wake up to, this higher level of understanding. You know, we're
Yeah.
a little more hip now and talking about that
But
than early on.
yeah. And this is just beautiful. I would like to hear about your experience. Have you ever experienced such a thing? Like, did you get that angel coming at you, telling you that you're a spiritual being? You came to this world to help people?
My things with the masters are much different. Most of mine are out of body. I
Yeah.
had a lot of them come to me and talks
Yeah.
and stuff, but most of them are working on you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But
But
mine was a lot different.
Yeah.
I had to go through a lot of training and stuff, and so
Yeah.
I was in all kinds of things, you know,
But
on
there
all
was
kinds
a
of
person
levels
who
and all kinds
inspired
of
you the
spirit.
most. Yeah.
Yeah,
who
I
brought-
mean, they have these golden wisdom temples, they call them, on these different planes, and some of these spiritual cities that you can go into are so gorgeous. I mean, there's jewels. I remember one time I was thinking, men don't think in color. You know, we're males. You know, I'm at Home Depot. I haven't even brushed my hair, right? So we don't think in color. And so that night, my master at the time I was working with came and said, really? Follow me. And I mean, I was at lands where the trees were jewels and flashing and emanating colors I'd never seen. And once I had visited the 1,000-petal lotus, I learned to take my students there. And the 1,000-petal lotus is the top of the astral worlds. And the most powerful thing that you've seen from there down. It is the powerhouse that runs the astral worlds and the physical worlds. It's the energy behind the crystals, behind everything. And it is the most powerful thing you've ever seen. Colors you've never, ever seen before.
Right. And they exist. We just don't know how to name them.
It supports and sustains the worlds at all levels.
Yeah.
And everything has its individual tech. I mean, you could I get that the intellects down here and the academics, they all go like this, and I'm going, really?
Yeah.
It's just,
We just
they're
don't
humbled
learn.
by the massiveness of it.
Yes, we don't learn anything practical.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just-
it's
you
hard.
can't.
It's hard.
Yeah. You can't engage the limited. I've always said, don't expect to experience the infinite with the finite. Impossible. If you want to experience the infinite, you must go to the infinite with yourself, the infinite. You cannot move into consciousness bringing the finite with you. It won't fit. It doesn't work that way. Finite is part of the infinite consciousness. And, you're going nowhere with the finite. It's just there to play with.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And
too.
stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
So we
that's
hope that you all get your spirituality and
Yeah.
start working with yourselves. I know so many of you are. I'm so proud of our groups. Our group is really,
It's wonderful.
aren't they? I
Yeah.
mean, all you guys are incredible, and we're really bringing the power, not only of, but of God here. I mean,
We
the power of
support each
consciousness.
other. It's just,
I love it. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
it's
nothing
good.
like in harmony, and this school is going to knock the socks off of these people because of fun
Absolutely.
learning. No one fails. We don't live in those worlds
No.
of duality. This is pure consciousness at all levels.
We are good teachers.
We love you guys. Thank you
Yeah,
so much
thank
for
you.
tuning in. And
Thank you
these
for having me here.
Oh, your course is in. I'm excited for your course.
me
Matter of
too.
fact,
So
Pat,
excited.
everybody's course is
Yes,
going up,
they're
getting
gonna
ready,
be-
getting loaded. I've got
Yes.
courses lined up, going ready for that school. We're getting the whole school set up
Yeah,
now,
that will
and then
be
all your courses are
beautiful.
starting to go on. Boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. So
Very
this is all
soon.
exciting as heck. Woo!
Yay!
I
And
know.
stay tuned.
Exactly. Love you guys.
Love you.
Namaste. Barakah.
Mahala.